And now we're live, Glenda.
You are live.
We are live.
Yes.
No intro music, no sound to make it like this booming thing. But anyway, we're live on all the socials right now that we could possibly be on, so that's good. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Mills. This is Glenda White, and today we are going to discuss some social media stuff. And I say stuff because there's a lot of things. We're not going to spend a whole bunch of time. We're going to be here for about 15 or 20 minutes just to hit some high points on a couple things. And then in subsequent weeks, because we're going to try to do this on a weekly basis, mostly this is for me. So I can learn and I can be a little bit more well-versed in how to handle all this stuff. But Glenda is my social media guru. She is self-taught and understands a lot more about these platforms and how they work than I do. And so I wanted to talk to her every week so that way she could teach me a little bit and I could get a little bit better at this. So today we're going to just talk about all of the platforms as kind of a big overview. Just here's this one, here's this one, here's what to do, here's some best practices. And then in the coming weeks, we're going to dive down into each one of those a little bit more granular. So, if there's one in particular that you want to know about, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, Twitter, Twitch, whatever your, I don't know if you know a lot about Twitch.
I do not know about Twitch or the Tweety Bird is what I call it because I'm not on Twitter.
You're not a Tweety Bird person either?
Tweety Bird.
Okay. Well, so we'll go through all of these as like a high overview and then we'll start drilling down in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so, so real quick, not real long, Glenda, but tell everybody,
as long as you do,
I know. That's good. That's good for you.
Yeah.
Let everybody know, just real quick, how you kind of started your, let's call it your journey, to get to social media and how you became a little bit more well-versed than the average human on this stuff.
COVID, right? COVID kind of put us into a spot, especially as lenders, that we couldn't go out and get, just do what we do on a normal basis, right? Coffee appointments, go talk to agents, teach our agents, and just help our agents grow their business, because that's really of where lenders are succeeding, is helping our agents grow their business. And so COVID kind of took a hit on everything. So I was like, why the heck not? Let me just dive into this. And I just went full force. I just pulled the Band-Aid off and it's a trial and error. And I've seen that it works. So if it's time to make it happen.
Okay. So being locked in a dungeon and not being able to see people force you to get online and start figuring out ways to reach folks because you were sad and lonely.
I was sad and lonely. And it's not just our agents, it's our clients, right? Our clients were having the same issues that we were as human beings. And as humans, we have to get out there. And so I just, research, everything's about research, education.
Right.
So that's podcasting, that's, other hierarchies that we see, other lenders, agents that are just killing it out there, and that's where I learned.
Okay, so now that you're a guru when it comes to social media, I'm gonna keep calling you that, whether or not you want that or not. But now that you are as such, so tell me about, like, let's go over each one in particular. So we've got the majors, you've got Facebook, you've got well, actually, let me ask you this: in order of importance, from your point of view. What do you think? Can you rank the socials? The socials?
So for me personally, it would be Instagram.
Instagram's number one.
Okay. YouTube's number 2.
Okay.
The talk of the tick. The TikTok is number 3, and Facebook would be number 4.
Okay.
And then LinkedIn is 5th.
Okay. So all right. So then let's start with Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. So give me some just general basics on what to post to Instagram, what kind of audience that you're looking for. Tell me about establishing the audience. I know that you're real big on that. So what's some kind of general stuff when it comes to Instagram that people need to pay attention to?
Videos.
So Instagram, a lot of people think of it as a picture, photographs, lots of memes, lots of tongue stuck out, right?
And so your head of Instagram in December came out and said it is no longer a picture sharing platform.
Okay.
And that's something that not a lot of people realize. And so, of course, who are they battling with? And that's the way I like to say battle is YouTube and Google own each other. Mm-hmm. Facebook and Instagram own each other. And TikTok is over here.
TikTok's all by itself.
It's all by itself.
Okay.
Well, Instagram, you have to get on video to be able to perform with TikTok and YouTube.
Right.
And so everything has to be of a value. It could be your family. It could be your community. We have to be hyper-focused. It could be a video on pre-approvals versus pre-qualifications. And it's a mixture of everything. Of course, we can't sell on social media, but we can educate.
Right.
And it's called edu-marketing.
Well, some people try to sell on social media.
Well, they do. And those are the ones
you would say that that's not the most effective way to do it?
Okay. It's an education platform.
Right.
Consumers today in 2022, when millennials are the largest buying class right now.
What do you mean? What are they buying? They can't afford anything. Everything's $700,000.
Down payment assistance. They're coming back.
Those are all gone too. Are they coming back?
They are coming back.
That's true.
But it's an education, right? No longer do they go to mom and dad and ask for the referral. The referral comes and they go on social media to see if you have a platform.
They're kind of validating your existence. So used to, you could get validation from mom and dad, but now you need validation from the socials.
It's crazy. So you have to have some kind of a present, and it could be a 30-second video on Instagram. It could be a story. It could be engaging on a story on Instagram.
Okay, so since we're talking about Instagram, tell us again. Treat me like I'm a 5-year-old moron, because for the most part, that's not too far from the truth in most cases. So reels, stories, like what's the
anything
understand.
Videos.
But what is that? Like what is a reel? What is a story? What is like what are we talking about?
All right, a reel is just a quick snapshot. I like to say is what have you done throughout the day? So a reel is really a 7-second to now. It's been 3 minutes, but they're expanding it, of course, in some areas. And it's a quick snapshot of what you're trying to educate your consumer for.
Okay.
If it's a title rep or an agent, maybe they're out in the field with a local coffee shop.
Right.
And so they're just taking a video of the coffee shop. That could be a reel.
Okay.
And then you could do a story. A story is engaging your consumers. You want people to start engaging it.
Okay.
It could be, how's your day, right? We're big on motivation. So, hey, did you have a kick-ass Monday, right? Like you just want engagement on stories. It's a quick every day.
All right. When you say engagement, again, I'm an idiot.
Okay.
What do you mean by engagement?
Engagement is you want someone to return that, right? You want an engagement. You want the consumer to stay on your page.
Like a like or a watch or
not just a like or a watch, but you want someone to return, right? So when you do a story for an engagement, right? You want someone to not just like, share, but you want someone to comment on that.
Okay.
And so same with reels. The reels are really a validation of what you're doing. So when a lender does a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval, their call to action is, hey, have you had any issues? Is your lender not doing a pre-approval like we have our USIS certified?
Right.
For an agent, hey, is your lender not doing a pre-approval? If so, you need to come to USIS Severity because we're going to give you an active certified pre-approval.
What would be an example for like an agent that would be like a call to action, something that they could do? As like a story or a reel if they were going to look for trying to do a post.
Yeah, on their stories is, have you bought or sold your home in the last 5 years?
Okay.
Are you prepared to sell your home? Have you winterized your home? Have you sunnerized your home?
How much is your home worth?
How much is your home worth? That's huge.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the value of your house today? Do we need the equity to move up, to move down?
Right.
And really, I think agents kind of sometimes overstep the boundaries on the lending side. Because they start quoting rates.
Oh, we got you.
Agents do not quote rates. People are turning you in.
Rates are high. There you go.
Rates are high, but they're, for an agent, it's a harder market out there. So they need to engage more than ever now. The more you engage on your story with other consumers, right? And so if I go on your story and then I start tapping the like or the share or commenting, you're going to show up in my feed tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And that's what we want to promote. And that's what we want to do. Lenders need to get on other people's feed and engage so their friends of the feed show up on yours.
Gotcha. So with Instagram specifically, because that's what we're talking about here, what type of posts do the best on Instagram? Like what type of day or, overall, like when's the best time to post?
That's a funny question.
Okay.
It is.
I didn't think it was that funny. It wasn't trying to be a joke.
Well, it is. Well, here's the problem is one of my lender friends the other day said the best time for his posts were 10:30 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And now that's all he posts is 3 times a week. Some people say 9 o'clock on Sunday night is the best time to post.
Right.
So really it's up to your audience that you've built and you want to use the insights,
Right.
the insights will tell you the best time to post on that platform.
Now, if you are not somebody who posts often, when is the best time to post?
You should.
Just whenever?
Whenever. Start it.
Start
You
it,
have
right.
to run research.
Yeah.
And everything that I do and I teach my agents is research.
Right.
You have to research. So you have to just go in there for, say, a week. Post every single day, the same time of week. And then the next week, change your time period. Do a video. Do a story. And then the algorithm, I hate that word, by the way. The algorithm will tell you what time to post going forward.
So if someone is, because by the way, if you're watching this, this is information for anybody that doesn't post on a regular basis and isn't incredibly comfortable with social media. If you are a millennial, Gen Z, whatever, and you spend all your days gramming and TikTok, and this is not, you probably are well versed in this stuff. This is for some of us professionals that are doing work on a day-to-day basis that need to get our name out a little bit more, get in front of our customers. Yeah, well, this is work. This is what it is.
Social media is work.
That's right. And it's not easy. I mean, you got to do a lot of stuff, and it takes a little bit of, I can't say the word I'm looking for, but it takes, you got to have a little gumption to go out there and do it.
There you go.
There's another word I like to use from time to time, but I'll keep it PG on this one.
There you go.
So if you are looking to, again, start on something, would you say that it's best to start on the platform? Because you can't do every platform at once, right? It's not ideal because you're going to mess stuff up. So would you say that it's best to start on a platform, not necessarily that is the best? Like you don't want to, instead of doing research to figure out, okay, I have more people on Instagram, more people on Facebook or whatever. Would you say it's better to start on a platform that you're more familiar with yourself, that you use?
Yes.
So like if you're on Facebook every day and you're looking at Facebook posts, then start on Facebook.
For sure.
If you're on Instagram every day and you're looking at Instagram posts, then start on Instagram, right? That's where you start.
Yeah. And here's the cool thing is because Instagram and Facebook own each other, that one video that you post will be cross-posted.
Okay.
So meaning it's going, if you post it on Facebook, it's going to show up on Instagram.
Right.
If you do Instagram, it's going to show up on Facebook.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a dual action that, yes, and a lot of my posts, if you go find my post in the morning, it typically cross posts to the other platform.
Gotcha.
So you're killing two birds with one stone at that point.
Right.
And the same thing with your stories. Your stories are going to go from Instagram to Facebook as well.
Okay.
And it's going to have two different audiences.
Okay.
And so I typically do Facebook personal, and then my Instagram business is how that flows.
So you do most of your posts on Facebook are just stuff about your family, stuff that you're doing for the weekend, whatever, very little business related things. And then most of your posts on Instagram are business related items, but then they still go back and forth. Okay. So that way you're kind of keeping it in particular on one platform that your friends are seeing, but at the same time, you'll still get some cross promotion based on how they do it.
And you have to cross promote on Instagram and Facebook, right? It's not all about business. So you have to relate. The big word is you have to relate and be relationable. You have to be able to relate to the consumer. What's the pain point of the consumer? So typically for me, when I find my content is what's the question being asked from, our customer?
Right.
Did they have a pain point? Right. Did they not get an offer because maybe they didn't go high, or maybe they're in an FHA loan? Well, how do we convert them to a conventional loan? Those are the pain points of our consumers. And that's the same thing with agents. There are pain points on every single loan that you do, every single sell side, every single buy side.
Right.
Goods, bads, even goods are pain points. Someone else is going to go through that, and that's your content that you find.
Gotcha. Now, on each one of the platforms, just go through each one real briefly about, kind of if you're posting to Facebook, this is the kind of stuff you want to try to do. If you're posting to Instagram, this is the kind of stuff you want to do, etc. So just a couple points on each one, just as an overview on what kind of posting you should do, depending on what kind of platform you're looking at.
Yeah. So TikTok is really for millennials and teenagers.
I like TikTok. I like TikTok so much that I stay off of it because it's like a freaking time warp. Like you get into that thing and you look up and it's an hour later and you're like, oh crap, like I need to go to bed. Like this is too much. So I mean I like it because it's that dopamine thing. You get that 1 minute video that's something real quick. If you don't like it, you move past it. But But they also have every bit of analytics possible on you, so they know exactly how long you're
Correct.
looking at each video and where your finger touches the screen or whatever. But
Yes.
so, but I like TikTok. But yeah, it's I guess how you use it. So you're saying TikTok is mostly the younger generation for the most part?
Up to about 44. Now, they used to be up to 35 because 35 to 44 is that middle sector generation that we're in. And recently, over the past couple months, they're outperforming a lot of the teenagers.
Yeah, us old people going to take over the socials.
We are.
Yeah.
We're taking over TikTok.
Well, somebody said the other day, which I agree with, that the reason that happens a lot of times is because, and I 100% did this too, is whenever my daughter got on TikTok, I was like, all right, I'm going to be on TikTok. I want to see what's going on.
For
I
sure.
need to check it out. So we're like, stalking our kids.
Yeah.
And then when we get on, they're like, ooh, we like this. This is nice.
Yes.
Like my wife watches cat video, like every single video is related to an animal of some kind. But our humor is very different, my wife and I. But yeah, it's a lot of times we're stalking our children, and that's how the Middle Ages people, us people born in the late 1900s, as my kids say.
Oh gosh, it sounds so
this is what it is. We were born in the late 1900s. But that's where we start looking is to watch the kids. So the young ones are on TikTok, but the old people are coming in. Yeah. Okay.
It's an education, right? You have 3 to 7 seconds, and they've talked about taking it to a 15-minute segment.
Really?
Which is crazy. I was teaching a class not too long ago, and one of my millennials, I asked that question, right? Why in the world would TikTok go to 15 minutes? Mm-hmm. Well, who are they kind of performing against? YouTube.
Right.
Right. And so if we as consumers can go educate on YouTube for 15, 20 minutes, an hour. Mm-hmm. Well, TikTok doesn't want you to leave the platform. Like you just said, you're on it for an hour.
Right.
Well, if you start looking at buying a house tomorrow, you're going to get a bunch of feeds for everything lending, everything real estate, everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Right. It's just, again, where you touch the button, how long you stay on it.
Right.
And so for lenders and agents, it's a fantastic up and coming platform to really educate the short-term millennial market.
Would you say it also is a good platform to push people to like your YouTube page or something like that? Like to push to other social medias?
Well, every social media platform does that. Okay. That's the good thing.
Right.
But the two majority, when you go look at of course, you want a business platform. That's the one question I always get. You always want a business because you want to see your analytics. We're financial people, so we always like to see analytics. And well, I like to see reports.
Yeah.
I love reports.
I know.
Reports.
Very aware of this.
And so on TikTok, you can see your Instagram and YouTube, and it will take your consumers off that platform.
Gotcha.
To both of those.
Okay.
And personally, you can't do that.
All right. So that's TikTok. So what about Facebook? Who's on Facebook? What are you posting on Facebook?
That's going to be your 55 to 65.
The olds.
The old. I call them olds last week.
I'm kidding. We're going to be old too. I'm not that far away.
I'm
sorry. The olders. How about the olders? Is that what it goes?
Our elder? I don't know what it is.
Hey, I'm still on Facebook. We do Facebook stuff all the time. So
we do. I love, and that's where I started was Facebook, and I think that's what made me so comfortable was Facebook.
Or is it Meta?
It is Meta.
Right.
It's all Meta.
It's all Meta.
It's all the Meta universe.
Right.
You talked about we're going to start buying houses on, the universe.
So the boomers are on Facebook.
Yep.
And what are we posting on that?
Selfies and personal.
Okay.
But we're going to relate to our community.
Okay.
So this is where we're going to just grow who we are. Mm-hmm. And I've always preached as, yes, anybody you talk to should be on your Facebook.
Okay.
We have to get past that hurdle of not friending a friend.
Right.
But that's where we reconnect. A lot of our customers and clients have come from my high school group. Mm-hmm. And we have just been friends on Facebook since 2009. Right. And it's just a kind of gradual.
Right.
And when a consumer comes to me and one of our clients says, hey, I found you on Facebook, or hey, I saw a video that you posted on Facebook for a home equity line of credit. Can you do my loan? That's what kind of continues to drive me, is because that was the pain point they needed. Mm-hmm. But the video content pushed them, to kind of go forward. It
is amazing when you do start posting on a semi-regular basis. Because again, personally, obviously we post a lot. Susan and I do our little goofy videos and stuff. But so we're moving in that direction. But you do get a little bit of positive reinforcement, I guess you would say, just because once you start having people that comment to you later on, like when you see them in person, like, oh, I watched that, it was good, or whatever. I haven't had anybody yet, be like, will you shut up? Like,
Well,
will you stop?
consumers were driven not to be negative all the time.
They may think that, and that's fine.
But if they do, they're going to the next loan officer.
Right. They're not, but they're not saying it to you. So
I can say it. That's the good thing.
I always joke.
Your video sucks.
Yes. Well, yeah, that maybe it's happened, but I always joke about talking about how people are. Everybody lives right here, right? So we're all living in our own little perspective, our own little world. And our job, if you are trying to grow your business, whatever it is, it can be real estate, it could be lending, it could be the local plumbing store,
For sure.
whatever you want to do. The goal is to try to show up here in the people's vision. You don't have to show up all the time. You just need to show up from time to time. You need to remind.
You have to show up all the time.
As often as you can, I guess. But you just need to remind people from time to time who you are and what you do. And that's the whole point of all this. The whole point of all social media is, obviously is to connect with people, but we want to connect with people for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes we want to connect because we haven't seen them in 20 years. We want to go hang out and have a drink. Sometimes we want to see our friends and family and their kids' accomplishments because, of course, that's.
Yeah, sorry for all the graduation posts over the last week because it's whatever.
That's okay, but that's the whole point of it. And then, from a business perspective, if you're a business owner or you're in any type of, selling to the masses type of job, then that kind of stuff gets you in front of people. And it gets you in front of them in a lot of different ways. It doesn't always have to be, hey, buy my product. It could be just like, here's me, this is what I do. And that's what a lot of you do.
Yeah. Consumers relate more when you're humanized than, I feel like the, you don't have to
be a walking commercial. You can just be you.
You can be you, right? Yeah. You're going to see me with a hat, with my Spark, with a glass of wine, with my family. I call them back crazy.
Don't forget your shoes.
Like I tried to do that. I got my shoes on. But your customer, no matter what field, it can be, it's plumbing, it's pool supplies, it's donut shops.
Right.
It doesn't matter who it is. You have to relate.
Right.
Because now more than ever, clients, people, humans, they want that personal interaction. I can't tell you how many people, like I said, that I walked in the other day and at Kroger again. I don't know. I go to Kroger a lot. Kroger. Come on. Topo Chico, they're always out. So I'm going to find my Topo Chico. But they're like, hey, coach, saw your video. Or, hey, congratulations on your kid. And I'm like, who are you? They're like, oh, I follow you. I'm like, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they just have that question. So, yes, it's the perception of social media. You're always the perfect person. And the perfect person on social media is the one that's having a hard time right now in any kind of organization. Because it's not a perfect world.
Right.
And when they see you flub on, having that conversation or just being you, that's who the consumer wants to see because they start relating on the other side of that's me. That's who I am. That's my pain point.
Yeah. And it's best to be who you are because people that like you for who you are will be ones that more often want to purchase from you or use you for your service or whatever it is. So it's always best practices just to be you.
Absolutely.
All right. So now we got YouTube. So tell me on YouTube, what's the general format from there? What are people looking for? What's the use for that platform?
Evergreen education. So meaning
hang on.
Evergreen. Here we go.
What is evergreen?
The content that
is it a tree? Is it tree education?
Are we
okay? All right.
It's your playlist or your content that's not going away that will not change.
So it is perpetual information essentially. It's not going to be outdated necessarily.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because a pre-approval versus a pre-qualification isn't going to change.
Right.
What you need for a loan is not going to change.
Or at least it's not going to change enough to where everything can change.
FHA loan limits will change,
right.
But of course you will have other content.
Sure.
And the algorithm for YouTube, again, is your watch time. How long do you keep the consumer on the platform? What are they watching? What are they searching for?
Right.
Some of my videos are doing better today than they did when I started posting them a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
I guess people use YouTube a lot as like a search engine, right?
For sure. It is because it's owned by Google or Google owns them. It is still the #1 search platform.
Right.
Video for TikTok, but YouTube and Google are still the #1 search criteria. And it kind of captures again, a content of a playlist. That's the way I started branding my YouTube. And thank you, Raul. I got it fixed. It allows the consumer to really use the encyclopedia of what a product or service is and teach themselves.
Gotcha.
Right? Instead of, because what are you doing? looking for a home there in Dallas, Fort Worth, how to buy a house in Dallas, Fort Worth. Well, if a local content or a local person is telling you and showing you and guiding you, then you would stay on that one platform.
Gotcha.
And so it's evergreen content that is not going to go away. And it's just, they're going to come back, right? My kid is on YouTube all the time, learning to do stuff, how to build bracelets, right? She's 7. And if a 7-year-old is learning how to build bracelets, then why as adults are we not educating our consumer on the business service side of it?
Right. And it's not something with those platforms that you're going to figure out how to do it right away and be perfect at it. So it's just like anything else. We'll say this again and again and again. If you want to post on YouTube, just start posting on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Make really crappy videos. It's okay. Like, it's fine.
I have crappy videos. Go look at my very first one. It's still up there.
Right.
Every coach that I've ever been around will say the same thing: is never take your first video down, because you always want to look and see where you came from. Yeah,
because you're going to get better at it, just like anything else. But you can't get better at something until you start doing it. And what the shame is that I think a lot of people don't always realize, or it's kind of one of those things like but you don't really know until you do it. Which is, if somebody had come to the general business owner back in, say, 1995, and they had said, "Hey, look, we're going to give you access to 10 million eyes on a regular daily basis. All you have to do is just put stuff out there, and it's free. Right? It costs you nothing.
Free.
So you're a business owner, you're selling donuts, or you're selling loans, or you're selling real estate, and they're like, we're going to let you be on a commercial for free. You pay nothing. Right. You just have to make the video and do whatever you want to do." Everybody would be like, "Yeah, sign me up. I'm in. I'm in." But now everybody's like, "I don't really. Who wants to hear what I have to say? Nobody likes when I got my words.
Yeah. That's the biggest question I get is, Glenda, I don't look like someone wants to follow me. I sound like an old lady. Like, who cares?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares of what you look like or sound like.
Like you for you.
It's the content that you're giving that person that's going to, again, everything's about a pain point of the customer.
Right. They're getting value one way or another.
For sure.
Okay. And then you started with Instagram, but tell us a little bit about on Instagram, what type of content is usually going up there? Who's looking at that? All that kind of stuff.
Instagram is a very engaging platform. Okay. So meaning that not only do you have to post, you have to send direct messages.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because you need to engage.
You got to get into somebody's DMs, is what you're saying?
Slide into the DM.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for our next conversation.
Well, I always like it. Everybody says they sent me a DM. Like, oh, what's going on? Like, what are you guys doing? But you're saying that's like you're supposed to be sliding into people's DMs?
Yes.
Okay.
And so Instagram is heavily focused right now on how engaging are you to your consumer. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of agents that we have grown our business together just from what I post on Instagram and just growing our humanization in direct messages.
Would you say that, and this is my perception as a male, would you say that women tend to spend a little more time on Instagram than dudes?
Yes.
So if your audience, this again goes back to what you always say about establishing your audience.
For sure.
So if your audience is more female driven, which yours very much is, then Instagram is a good platform to be on because lots of ladies be on Instagram.
Well, I have
they be gramming.
But it's crazy. I have a lot of male loan officer friends that are absolutely killing it on Instagram. Okay. They are not on any other platform right now. Okay. They are 100% full force on Instagram. They're doing videos. Mm-hmm. They're doing engagement conversations. They're hyper focused. So they're highlighting the local coffee shop that just opened.
Gotcha.
So they are going out in the community, and then the community is granting them, that affordability of who they are and kind of a validation point. And it's just like Google, right? We'll tap into that later. I love me some Google. You have to be hyper focused more than ever now to take the other large big banks, the Zillows out of the world, because they don't have that relationship.
Right.
And lending and real estate is changing. We all know that.
Yeah.
Every business is changing. Even for my construction owners that we talk to, they now have to engage in their consumers on Instagram before they become an actual consumer on the other platform.
Okay. All right, so we're almost out of time in our little setup. We're on 30 minutes really, but so I want to wrap this up. But next week we are going. Where are we going to start? What platform are we going to start with next week? Instagram. All right, we're gonna start with Instagram next week. We're gonna get very specific on Instagram. We're going to talk about times to post. We're going to talk about what type of content, where to find content, and then maybe even a little bit of, okay, let's just say I want to start filming stuff. What's the best way to use my phone? Do I buy a camera? All those kind of things. So that way, if this is something that you're interested in and that's something that you want to try to get moving forward with, you get to learn just like I do from Glinda on how to do this, because she has spent a lot of time learning this. She spent a lot of hours. Put a lot of effort into it. Go check her out on the socials, and you will see what we're talking about. If you follow Glinda, you will see Glinda every day. She will show up somewhere on your feed, and it's usually very positive stuff. She's telling you to go.
Well, who wants to buy from a negative person?
Right? Come on. Be a jerk. Be happy. Right? Why not? It was a waste of time not to be happy.
I mean, the rain's coming on Friday.
That's right.
Who gives a crap?
That's right. So. Mortgage Coach DFW, the Mortgage Coach DFW, the Mortgage Coach DFW. So she is going to get into a little bit more depth with us next week and kind of go through. So if you guys are interested and want to know, if you have any questions regarding Instagram specifically, if you want to put them in the comments, we'll answer those questions for you, and just kind of see where it goes. So stay tuned for next week. Glinda, thank you for spending 31 and a half minutes with me. I very much appreciate you. And we'll be back at it next week. Anything you want to say before we go?
Consistency and just get started.
Consistency and just get started. Eat the whale, right?
Eat
One bite at a time.
That's all
get started. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Bye.